Funding for Schaff is provided by Squarespace, the sponsor of today's video. From websites and online stores to marketing tools and analytics, Squarespace is the all-in-one platform to build a beautiful online presence and run your business. More info at the end of the video. Hamilton is exhausting. Not bad by any stretch, but I'm really burnt out from it. Once I listened to it in late 2015, I was absolutely obsessed for the next 2 years. Maybe a little too obsessed. I introduced it to everyone in my school and got them obsessed. When I graduated high school, I was ranked 3rd in my class, so I got to speak. And my speech was a rap number inspired by Hamilton. I still wake up in a cold sweat thinking about that. I made 18 Hamilton AMVs, many of which are still on the channel. Here's My Shot mixed with B-Movie. Here's Farmer Refuted mixed with the Zelda CDI cutscenes. Here's a Star Wars mashup of the opening number, which somebody sent to Lin on Twitter and he actually reacted to it. This was in January 2016, so yes, Lin-Manuel Miranda watched a Schaff Productions video before the channel even had 100 subscribers. That's neat. I took this picture when I was in New York to see Great Comet because Hamilton door, look at that. And finally, my friend Wyatt took me to see Hamilton in July of 2017. It was a mind-blowingly amazing show and everything I could have hoped for. And now that I finally made it into the room where it happens, I don't know. I guess I was finally ready to move on to other musicals. I had closure. And I picked a good time to close because I came to realize how embarrassing the Hamilton fandom is for glorifying and shipping these real-life slave owners with each other. See, my personal stance on the whole Hamilton discourse is, this show is clearly a work of fiction, and I have no problem enjoying it with the knowledge that these are just characters that are loosely based on real problematic individuals. Like, notice how on Jeopardy, Lin refers to the Thomas Jefferson character, not Thomas Jefferson. I think anyone with a brain can recognize that this is not how the real Thomas Jefferson acted, but it's genuinely hard to tell with some of this show's most hardcore fans sometimes. I saw this review on Letterboxd that perfectly summarizes my thoughts and feelings on the show. As long as you go into it with the mindset that you're watching a piece of loose historical fiction, you're golden. And please feel free to disagree with me. I'm not an authority on this issue by any stretch of the imagination. Anyway, I'm not going to talk about the quality of the musical itself because I did that for 2 years straight to everyone in my life who would listen. Hamilton is such a musically and lyrically genius show that it's straight up inhuman. The number of recurring lines and motifs, the intricate wordplay, the fact that the score keeps delivering banger after banger, one after the other, it's insane. But everyone's heard all that before. Today I'm just here to talk about the actual Hamilton Pro Shot on Disney+. Like I said, I've seen the show on Broadway before, but not with the original cast. So that was really the only thing keeping me mildly intrigued about this Pro Shot. Seriously, I can't stress enough how much I'm still reeling from burnout in regards to this show, even years later. It hasn't gotten any worse in my mind, I'm just exhausted from it. But I gotta admit, this Pro Shot really sucked me back in. The cinematography and editing were pretty good and made the show feel more immersive. I feel like the angles they showed off for certain scenes really gave me a greater appreciation for the staging than I had before. But obviously, the best part of this Pro Shot was finally being able to see these performances in all their glory. I finally understand why all these peeps were nominated for Tonys. Wow. I mean, Chris Jackson was solid enough as George Washington on the cast recording, but when you get to see what an emotionally investing performance he gave on stage, it's really excellent. He was definitely the biggest surprise of the Pro Shot, and he gave one of my favorite performances. Daveed Diggs as Lafayette and especially Jefferson was excellent, but his performance was about what I expected based on the cast recording. Same with the Schuyler sisters, all three of them nailed it, but didn't surprise me too much. Groff Sauce is the literal definition of a show stealer, and I was not prepared for how much better he was live than he was in the cast recording. I understand the appeal now. Leslie Odom Jr. probably gave the best performance overall, but I expected that going in. I always assumed he was holding back a bit emotionally on the cast recording, and boy was I right. If I had to pick the best song performance in the Pro Shot overall, it'd be Yorktown, which is coincidentally my favorite song in the show, but Leslie Odom Jr.'s performance of Wait For It is a close second. Talk about a performer in full control of his craft. He is everything in this Pro Shot. It's fire. Anyway, let's talk about Lin. So, I don't think it's a controversial statement to say that he's a much better composer and lyricist than he is a performer. He's the weakest singer in both of his Broadway shows, but he covers that up by giving his characters less vocally demanding songs. Plus, he's fairly charismatic in both cast recordings. but I don't know, man, he really wasn't working for me at first. It felt like he was constantly out of breath and he didn't bring much fire to My Shot or any of the other early songs. It got better as Act 1 went along, but for the most part, I just wished I was watching Jevin McFerrin, the understudy who played Hamilton when I saw it on Broadway. I only remember his name because I mentioned it in my 2017 Instagram review of the show. I called him the Tom Holland to Lynn's Tobey Maguire, which, yeah, still sounds accurate. Anyway, I hope the Lynn fans haven't already crucified me because I actually really liked his performance in Act 2. And once we got to It's Quiet Uptown, holy hell, where was he hiding those acting chops? His performance at this part of the show is legitimately heartbreaking to the point where I can't say he's the weakest link in his own show anymore. In fact, there are no weak links. Hamilton is a rare example of everything coming together. Impeccable direction, an unbelievable script and score, near universally excellent performances, every single element working in tandem to create something so transcendent. If you like musicals at all but haven't seen it, you owe it to yourself to at least check out this show and see why it's a cultural phenomenon. If you don't like musicals, this might be a bit of a tough sell since it's non-stop singing, so I'd probably recommend starting smaller. Watch the SpongeBob musical, there's a pro shot of that available. It's a great intro to musical theater in general, and it's just way better than it has any right to be. And if you're already obsessed with Hamilton, you've already seen this and you just want to hear my opinion of it. Well, I thought it was excellent, but I've already devoted way too much passion into this show for one lifetime. So I'm gonna go ahead and give Hamilton a completely unenthusiastic 10 out of 10. One of the best musicals ever, but I got it out of my system a long time ago. Still, I'm extremely happy that the legions of fans who never got to see this show live because of the ludicrous paywall surrounding Broadway as a whole, and this show especially, are finally getting their shot. Hopefully Broadway shows continue to get official pro shots released so musical theater can be made more accessible. I know of a certain other show that starts with H and ends with N that could benefit from a pro shot. Wink wink nudge nudge. Make a Hadestown pro shot, you guys, I'm begging you! Hear ye, hear ye! My name is Shafril Seabury, and I present information on the excellent service Squarespace. Looking for methods to make a great website, you needn't look anywhere else. Oh my god, this is something else. Squarespace is... Alright, I'm giving up on this. Maybe someday I'll sing the entire Squarespace sponsored portion, but not today. Squarespace is a fantastic, intuitive, online website builder that allows you to create beautiful websites for your business or personal hobby. Present your work using Squarespace's professional portfolio designs. Display projects in customizable galleries and add password-protected pages to share private works with clients. You can even present your videos from YouTube, Vimeo, and Animoto on your Squarespace site. Add an image overlay to your video to improve your website's load speed by waiting to embed video players until playback starts. Pulling content from Twitter, Foursquare, Instagram, 500px, or Flickr directly into any page, sidebar, or footer of your site. In addition to configuring third-party domains, customers can purchase domains directly from Squarespace. Over 200 TLDs are currently available for purchase, and each domain comes with a beautiful parking page and free WHOIS privacy. If you're ready to share your passions or promote your business with the rest of the world, head to squarespace.com for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/Shafrillis to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain.